YouTube test. What's going on, everybody? Fourth quarter. Bulls are winning. Knock on wood. What's going on, Eli? Marlon, how's it going? Hope you all had a nice weekend. This Wizards team looks bad. Where is Mr. Big? Is that what we're calling Big Dave now? That sounds like a weird nickname. He should be on any minute, along with John. What up, Alex? Welcome in. Hey, there's the man.
What is happening? What's going on?
Look which hat he's wearing. After John and I put those ridiculous baby blue jerseys in their place on our last show, you had to rock that hat.
And after I put them in their rightful place, which is in the top 3, of course I had to rock this hat. Amazing. Just tell me it don't look amazing here, Matt. Go ahead and say it. Say it don't look amazing. Say it. Yes, because you won't lie. Go ahead, friend. Go ahead, friend.
Hi, Dave.
What's up, bro?
Book Jones, appreciate you, man.
Everything is good, man. Already Book Jones kicking it off. I appreciate that. That's what's up, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Oh, Sato.
Are the Wizards going to be the worst team in the East?
It's looking that way. That's called progress, Matt. We are not the worst team in the East. That is progress, man. Wow, I'm a little shocked that Washington is this bad. I thought that they would be, a little better, like a little bit better, but man,
everybody was, talking about the Beal Westbrook backcourt. They're two good players, but neither of them are.
Sorry, my computer is running like the slow. It's like poor little thing. Everything's taking forever.
What do you mean, poor little thing?
Is it
okay?
Along.
Is it sick?
Up 10, guys. How we feeling?
Up 10. Feeling
13.
I'm laughing at what John just sent on his text. That's hilarious.
It was unbelievable. It wasn't one after the other. I wish it was, but like someone snuck in it. It was like a minute, and there it is. There it is, Bulls fans. Choose your house.
Yeah, I said, man, Gafford is awesome. And C. Red Fred said, I've seen enough of Gafford tonight.
at the exact same time.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Probably because he thinks that Denzel should be getting backup center.
Made me laugh.
Probably so.
You could not have timed that prep better.
Yeah, we coordinated it. We had a discussion.
Right, Matt? We're winning, but it feels like you're in the darkness.
Yeah, man, it does.
The darkness.
Yeah. Huh?
Why?
I can't hear you, Matt.
Well, because earlier your text of how you want to be in the offseason already. Like that's why he's saying the darkness.
That is true.
I can't hear Matt.
Can
you hear him, Dave?
I hear him.
I'm gonna get back in. I can't hear him.
Try coming out and coming back in, John.
That's what she said.
I think it might be your sick computer.
She said that too.
I wasn't lying when I said that I was, we're 4 games in and I'm ready to fast forward to, the next offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the trade deadline. Like, I know that we have to do some evaluation here with the new front office, the new coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling very impatient. Because I don't think that not only do I not think, I know that this team won't be very good. Even if they make strides, they won't be very good.
Mm-hmm.
I just want a fucking winning team again, man.
This is how it goes, man. This is the process, man.
They let Garpax. I mean, it's damaged. Like they could not. They couldn't trade anyone because their value was the lowest it was during the summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Big Dave, you may have mentioned it on Twitter earlier today. There's just so much damage that they need to undo from Jim Boylen. Like so much damage done.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot, like a ton of damage, man. And I said it last time in the preseason. It's like you got your stepdad in, and you just have to know that he's not going to punch you in the face when you do something wrong. So when you do something wrong and you flinch when he comes to hug you, it's going to be expected. And that's kind of how guys like Wendell Carter Jr. were, and Lowry, and that's just how it's going to be for a while, man. But Kobe, my God. You know what?
It's baffling all these months and years later to go back and think about the fact that John Paxson was convinced that Jim Boylen was the right move.
Oh, not just John. I mean, Reinsdorf too.
And the Reinsdorfs.
Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Like, yeah, this is our guy.
Mm-hmm. He's the one. This is what we need. This is what we need. It was two extremes, because you went from Hoiberg, who was extremely hands off and just letting guys, work it out. And it's like, hey guys, just it's all right, to the full extreme of last time of you guys are idiots. You do 45 push-ups. Now we drink these 8 raw eggs. Watch Ruby.
Yeah.
Never underestimate mediocre white men thinking other mediocre white men. You have to get another POV in there, because then you end up with Boylens. Right. This is the argument for diversity in rooms.
And
John, you and I know a thing or two about mediocre white men.
I would pray to be just mediocre. I'm below average white man. I'm trying to work my way up to mediocre. But that is when people say why you need diversity. Because if a woman's in the room, they're like, don't hire that guy.
Not that Matt said, of course Jerry liked Jim. He cost $1.50.
That is true.
See,
I'll pay you to do it.
Right.
Carlos said Pax even rots the soil of growth.
Oh,
they salted the earth.
Poetic.
Ben, what's going on? Ben said, I'm here with my Bush latte.
Ooh, I love that.
I did see PBR came out with a coffee beer thing.
Are you serious?
Is Bush doing that now too? Or is that just what people call Bush Lights?
Wait, expound on this, please. There's a what now?
They just showed up in my beer fridge one day. I think one of my roommate's girlfriends found them. We're like, oh, this looks cool. And it's like a PBR, but it's like an iced coffee PBR.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I didn't try it because I didn't want to vomit.
Way to care about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care that much about myself, but I do have some standards.
Right. Yes, I understand. Even the pig
Ryan said, Matt, where have the Locked On Bulls been? I was playing with my nieces in Texas. Yeah. That's where the Locked On Bulls episodes have been. I'm sorry we haven't done any since last week. Jordan's been kind of busy the last couple of days, too. It's the holidays. But we're going to crank out a couple episodes tomorrow. Your Highness.
Family first, sir. Wait, isn't that good, Matt?
Nieces over podcast all the time.
You're that love, though, Matt. People want to hear your voice. They want to hear your opinion, sir.
You got a beautiful voice. A beautiful voice.
It's flattering and also a little concerning.
Guys, do you know that there is a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie cereal?
I saw that today. I want to try it.
And
I saw the picture on Twitter.
Dude, I lost my mind. I cannot wait to try this. I loved oatmeal cream pie.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite, man.
It was currency in my house.
I love
Little Debbie's were snack cakes, and oatmeal cream pies and fudge rounds were currency in this house, sir. Currency.
I thought it was Photoshopped.
They
actually made that a cereal.
Family size. I looked it up. You get it at Walmart. I'm going out tomorrow.
You got to do a taste test.
God bless America.
Yes. Yes. It's the 2020 of cereal.
Ben said you're not from Iowa if you do not know Bush Latte. You're right. I am not.
Yeah.
People from Iowa need to chill about being from Iowa.
No. People or Texans.
I don't know, man.
Well, the other parts of my family are in Michigan and Texas, Dave. Or Johnson. There
That's
you go.
Amazing. Well, I'm from I always I love being from Texas, and my Iowa family's lukewarm about being from Iowa.
I mean,
they acknowledge the reality.
There are some perks to Texas. I was just hanging out there for a week. I was sitting shotgun in my brother-in-law's car, just sipping a beer on the way to the playground and back. What? It's so great.
You can do that?
Yeah.
I did not know you could.
Anyone other than the driver can have an open container in Texas.
I haven't lived there
and
since
I
after 21.
took advantage of it.
It's like
That
it's
is wild.
in Louisiana, New Orleans for sure. I know.
Well, there's no open container law in it. You can just walk around.
You can walk around with that.
WrestleMania,
joint.
man, was
it was amazing. Wasn't that the best? Oh,
it was
man.
the best.
Dude, I was walking around with a 12-pack, like just having the time of my life down there.
I kept lifting my shirt, and everyone was like, "This is not this."
we all
guys. People in the chat seem to be having a lively debate about Kobe and his handles. Do you guys think Kobe has decent handles? I think sometimes his dribble is a little too high, but
He's crazy. I kind of like it though. He's not Kyrie, but he's better than Wendell.
Yeah, I would say in that middle. Like sometimes he's too fast for his own hands, and other times he makes a move and a crossover. You're just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like he's a streaky handler in a way somebody's a streaky shooter.
My goodness.
It's when he gets into traffic. Like I don't think he understands like where the screen's coming. Like I think it's like so his handle's in like a system. Was that Bertrand's?
Yes, it is.
God damn it! When the net doesn't move, I didn't even see who shot it. I just didn't see it move, and I was like, "That
Kobe,
Mr. 80 million,
$80 million."
Ben says, "My family are from Great."
The comps that people started throwing out there about like, well, if Bertans got 80, Lowry's going to demand 100, and I'm like, he can demand that.
Yeah, that was a bad 80 million.
No,
people thought Tim Hardaway Jr. was bad for 70. Like,
woo!
Rob.
Oh my God, Adele just killed a guy.
Rob Z says you're high, Matt.
Ooh,
me?
Will you do a high one?
Or one of the Matt in the chat.
I don't know.
What did I say?
Hey, if you're talking Matt in the chat, sir, you have to call him NTM. Or not that Matt. You can't just say
not
Matt.
That Matt. Yeah, I am that Matt. He's not that Matt.
That's right, sir.
None of.
Or just call him Peck and avoid all the confusion.
No one's high, much to our chagrin.
John.
No, I've been so good. not since before the election.
You're waiting.
I've been on a cleanse, and it's not fun.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun.
No,
cleanse.
especially during COVID. It's like, what else are you gonna do? It's cold.
That just sounds like existing more deeply in the grossness of our current reality.
I'm trying to switch up habits. You know how it is. It's miserable. I would not recommend it.
Wait, how long are you going?
I've gone like 6 weeks. No, almost 8 weeks now.
Pretty good, man. Wow. What is there a cutoff here or?
Just see how long we can ride this wave, baby.
Ride the wave.
I came home and found a whole bunch of Christmas cookies in our kitchen, like homemade.
That's delicious.
And I had to confirm with my roommate real quick. I ate a couple like at halftime, and I was like, these aren't like cookies, are they? And he's like, no, they're just regular cookies. I was like, okay, you can't blame me for asking.
Oh, that's smart, man.
I really wish they were just for the rest of this game. And if Washington came back, but who knows? It looks like they're doing good.
Wait, Eli says, NTM, you are high. Heck, you are low.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
I got friends in low places. Seeing Sato in crunch time really bums me out. It is a bummer. Watching Lee hit that three and like Sato just kind of standing there.
Like, yeah, he can shoot.
I mean, do you call it crunch time if we're up by 16?
I call it fourth quarter. If it's 5 minutes, you're right. 5 minutes is the cutoff for crunch time, right? Technically.
Yes.
I'm a minute 56 too early.
It's all right. It's operating on Texas time. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, everything's a little slower in Texas.
Everybody's just slowed down by all the grits.
Capital One Arena. I wonder if Jennifer Garner gets free tickets.
Oh, that's not a foul. Good stuff. Man, Gafford excites me. Watching him play.
Dude, he was not in the rotation in the first half.
He was not.
Fred's seen enough.
Fred's seen enough. Yeah. I enjoy watching him, man. He's impacting every time. Every time Bradley Beal decides to come to the bucket, I mean, Gafford's right there and putting him right to the ground and making him think about it.
Did you see that one up and under drive and lay in that Beal had earlier in the first half?
Dude,
that was
so good.
So smooth, man. He's so
smooth. Tom Foolery says Wizards defense is worse than the Bulls. That's true.
It's a fact.
That's not easy to do.
It's a fact. And theirs is worse because they're not learning a new system. It's like they have the same coach. Like they are what they are. They're like,
Scotty Brooks.
Yeah, Scotty.
Dude, we're just so many little short white guy coaches recently. We just had Steve Kerr back in the building a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
We got Billy D playing against Scotty Brooks.
I know Scotty B and Billy D used to coach the OKC.
DeRozan.
Oh, dude, Spurs make me so bad. They're always just like kind of around.
And you know who looks good is Pat Will's teammate, Devin Vassell.
He really does.
Dude, go show that replay and show Gafford jumping again, please. Watch this replay.
Oh my goodness.
Watch this.
I like Thomas Bryant.
Oh,
I mean, it looked like he could have touched the top of the backboard on that jump.
Dude, that's impressive, man. You got to play that.
Oh,
you got to play
gosh.
that, man. You can't have that on the bench, man. You can't have that on the
Where's
bench.
the foul?
Oh my gosh.
Ben said Gafford makes Big Dave's nipples hard.
Joke's on you, sir. They're always hard.
60% of the time they work every time.
They call it Sex Panther. It's illegal in 9 countries.
So Wendell's going to have a double-double probably, right?
Brian, I'm going to be honest, that smells like pure gasoline.
It stings the nostrils.
Sex Panther.
Lakina, what's up, Lakina? Said exactly what's the Wizards' excuse for being bad defenders? They don't want to.
I mean, they were so bad last year, too.
Nato!
And Rui's hurt, right?
What'd you say, John? I'm sorry.
Rui's hurt, too, right?
Who'd you say?
Uchimura.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he's out tonight.
Oh, wow.
So he's like their best defender.
Yeah, it is. So you lose your best defender. Is he going to play next game, or is this going to be out for a while?
Who's out?
I think like maybe a couple of weeks. Nothing serious.
Nothing crazy, but like missing the beginning of the season.
Yeah. But dude, how much of a bummer is that Spencer Dinwiddie news, man?
Oh God,
it's a bummer.
And Ja. The Ja's gonna be okay.
Ja is like 3 to 4 weeks, I think they said, or 3 to 5. Kevin Love,
that's it.
Out 3 to 4 for the somehow 3-0 Cavs. What,
dude?
JaVale McGee balling.
I've been saying for months the only team I know we're going to be better than is Cleveland. So much for that.
Drummond contract year, man.
There are all the undefeated teams in the NBA are in the East.
Or 2 of them in their Central Division.
Crazy.
The 3 of them in their Central Division, right?
And
we're in the Central Division.
And we're
the NFC East of the NBA.
Are either of you guys deeply butthurt about the whole the Bulls should have won the game on Sunday?
Yes. But also I loved Billy Donovan's response.
Yeah, he said I've been on both ends of that kind of stuff. I've benefited from no calls or bad calls, and I've been on the short end. We all have. The last 2-minute report just drives me crazy because it's hey, here are these mistakes that we made that we can't fix now.
I hate it.
Why?
It's but I get why they do it. And you want transparency, right? You want to know they're getting better and that they I get big picture why they do it. Every time I see it, it infuriates me to no end.
Yeah. And I mean, hopefully they use it to inform their decisions of the ranking of NBA crews.
I think they did.
And let that dictate who gets the playoff games, who gets the big games. Because at least, like you said, John, at least they're doing. Whereas the NFL, they're just no, fuck you, we got it right. It's but you didn't.
Yeah, and the baseball is oh, we're all cousins.
Yeah,
cousins.
NFL officiating with that Jim Boylen attitude of no, you're wrong and fuck you.
Boylen should be an NFL ref. I would love if he became an NFL ref.
Oh, he'd be perfect.
He'd be perfect, right? Perfect. Sato, balling. I take it back, Sato.
Fourth quarter balling, but yeah. Balling nonetheless. I agree.
Man. You know who's going to have a lot of stats this year? Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah, dude, he's averaging triple-double already. So yeah,
he's got one tonight.
He had 10, 8, and 6 in the first half. Like good God.
I love watching him play basketball.
Another, he just threw a beautiful pass out to Avdia in the corner.
Yeah.
If he was in the 90s, my God, like he's just in the wrong era. Like where shooting is, you have to be able to shoot threes.
Yeah,
and still averaging close to. He still had time. He's averaging close to 30. Woo! Like,
pretty.
You know what I mean? That's impressive, bro.
I just love watching him play. Like he just has the ball on a string. Like it's so fun. I know. Like I probably wouldn't want him on my team because it's like there's too many like times he's messed up. But as a fan, just watching him is fun. It's just so fun to watch him.
Completely agree. He's so.
T. Foolery said you got Bulls fans who wanted to trade for Westbrook. SMH.
I did. I would. What for? What's so precious, Bulls fans? What are we holding on to?
Like, why is that bad? Russell Westbrook and Billy Donovan getting back together again. Like,
yeah, in Chicago, and he's fun to play, and he's gonna. He tries. Like
the MVP. Like, no, I don't want an MVP. Yeah. Like, yeah,
I don't want to give up. But like, is he worth Zach LaVine? He's better than Zach LaVine.
Come on, man. Come on, guys.
Would we be like a contender? No, but like at least we win a game. Guys, we haven't won a game.
Right, exactly.
You know who else hasn't won a game, John? Russell Westbrook's Wizards.
I get that. Yeah, that is a great point. But I just think it's like when people are like, I wouldn't do that trade. It's like, you wouldn't?
The same people who were saying that about Harden, though. So it was the same thing. Didn't want James Harden on the team. I don't understand those things.
I don't understand it.
I mean,
I don't.
Marlon just said you got $100 million a year going to BAWL, Westbrook, and Bertans, and you lost by 20 to the Bulls.
Bulls, baby.
That's a great point.
That's not ideal.
I think
the Bertrand's contract.
Thank you, John. That's what I was going to say. That's the bigger statement. Is he part of it?
They didn't sign the Westbrook contract.
Correct.
Right. They willingly took it, though.
Yeah, they got rid of Wall,
who had a ridiculous contract also.
Almost to the there was like $5 million off, right? Like it was like almost the exact same.
Ooh.
We have Felicio for $32 million.
You know what I'm saying?
Bertrand plays.
Next time I see Wendell go up to block a shot like this, I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, wow.
He's terrible. He's not this is why you can't play him as a protector. Like just try.
But guys, don't you remember his 20 and 10 game from just a couple days ago?
I mean,
yeah, when he was the tallest man on the court.
I was just about to say that's why you guys were so on point with that. And I think that is the one thing I didn't see being discussed when I was reading people's reactions on NBA Twitter. And nobody was saying that. And you guys hit it on the head. Like he's playing against smaller competition. Like you said, John, once again, being the biggest person on the court.
Wendell's like, yeah.
Yo, James Harden is 8th all time in triple doubles.
Oh man. Yeah, I can see that.
That's crazy.
Right. 15.
Westbrook still has a ways to go to catch Oscar, right? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Garrett.
They just showed it.
Go back.
I think Larry Bird was 7th. That's I think
Oscar Robertson is at 181 and
184, 181.
And Russell is at 149.
Oh, he'll get that.
He'll catch him this season.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bird is 7th. It goes Magic 3rd, Kidd 4th, LeBron 5th, Wilt 6th,
Kidd 4th,
Larry 7th, and James Harden 8th.
Oof. Cam, not great timing on that Temple is solid remark because, he just tripped over his own shoes trying to cross over and then airballed 3. Other than that,
he's been great.
I agree. I think Temple can help this team.
I do too, but I also think he'll be solid. If he's solid, we like that, right? Like he'll never win you a game, right? Maybe 1 or 2.
That's great. Yeah, exactly, John. If he's the one we're depending on to like, oh man, we gotta have him play this game so we can win, then you got huge problems. But as a piece, yeah, he's awesome. As a fit, yeah, great.
Carlos said Felicio's worst contract in Chicago history.
Great conversation.
Wendell defends the basket in a Frankenstein pose. Whoa.
That is so. Yeah, he doesn't have scoliosis till he goes up and tries to block it.
Yo.
Guys,
I can say that I have scoliosis.
this lead has shrunk to 10, and there's still 3 minutes and change left.
Dude, let's come on, give it to me, Wizards. Give it to me, Wizards.
Give it to me, Wizards.
Fade for Cade, baby. Fade for Cade. Did you see that Thunder tank last night? Brilliant. They played the entire game, went down to the last minute, lost it last minute. It was the perfect tank.
Oh, that was a terrible
Another
shot.
thing that the Bulls didn't even do right.
That's a horrible shot.
Garrett Temple, baby.
Garrett Lowry, anyway.
He's just chilling.
I think they maybe are giving him the rest of the night off. I'm wondering if he aggravated that calf because he hasn't come back in. He's only played 19 minutes.
Oh, wide open.
Hey, I mean, speaking of triple-doubles and double-doubles, Mr. Carter's got himself a double-double tonight. 10 and 10.
10 and 10, baby. 10 and 10. Here's the thing, 10 and 10. Right? 10 rebounds I'll take.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
I still don't get his – I just don't get his defenders. I think that's what I don't get. People are like fervent for him.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what I've missed.
Yeah. Like they're betting, the farm on him.
And they're like, didn't hear you last game.
Right.
Where's all the trade Wendell guys? Yeah, and it's like, okay,
right here.
Also trade him, but we're not rooting against him. I love that I am always minutes behind y'all. That was trouble.
I slowed down so he could get it, and now I'm going to speed up.
Is AT&T just bringing your internet to you one truck at a time?
Yeah, they print it out for me.
Wow, Kobe.
I got Comcast, but it's fun because I have no other choices. But
you're always nice with RCN.
Oh yeah. Oh, I used to love RCN.
RCN. Oh my god.
They used to be so thirsty for business. They'd be like, "We'll give you HBO." Sure, whatever.
We'll give you whatever. Yes.
They got their deal done with Marquee Network real quick.
When do you want us to come? And you'd be like Comcast, we'll come between this 8-hour block, and RCN's like, when are you free? We'll be there at the minute. We're just happy you called us.
Right. How's your family?
Yeah. We haven't updated our logo since the 90s.
Here's an update on Lowry from Casey. There's no official update on his status from the team. He was a game time decision tonight with the calf contusion. 19 minutes. Appeared to aggravate it late in the first half, exited early in the third, hasn't returned. So I'm guessing we'll get an update on that post game.
Wendell.
I got a Bulldog stat for you guys.
I love Bulldogs.
Bulldog says Russell Westbrook has 3 triple-doubles in 3 games for the Wizards. He's now tied for 8th in Wizards franchise history.
3?
That's like a bear stat.
Luka's already beaten the Mavs franchise history. Triple doubles already.
That is a bear quarterback stat right there.
That is a bear quarterback. Isn't that amazing? That is such a great call. That is so funny.
Dude, that Mr. Trubisky is top 10 in yards. Already. He's 4 years in.
Yeah.
It's insane.
If I have to look at one more stat graphic about Bears quarterbacks and see Sid Luckman's name, I'm going to.
Oh, my God. That is so funny.
Jesus Christ. See him, Luckman. How bad we are.
Wait, Bears are could be in the playoffs, though, right?
Could be in the playoffs.
No, they're going to lose to Green Bay on Sunday.
And we'll be doing it here on Hot Mic.
But if they win, who do they play? They play the Cowboys?
I'm thinking no.
Cowboys are in the mix.
They are in the mix. What's more likely, the Bears?
Nobody has clinched that trash division yet?
No way, baby.
Oh, my God.
It's the worst.
The Giants are tied. Y'all tied with Washington, right?
I think so.
Okay. Tied with Washington. So basically, if Washington wins and Washington goes and Washington loses and Dallas wins, then Dallas is in.
Oh, man. I love it.
Oh,
It's at 6-9.
Dude,
Both these teams are 6-9.
The NFC East is an argument against capitalism, if I've ever heard of one. The most valuable franchises.
Crazy.
What radicalized me? Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones made me a leftist. Like my whole life, Jerry Jones making money every year.
Eli says the Cowboys are eliminated and the Giants
They are
1 game back.
Oh,
You're so wrong, is what he said.
I thought but I had SportsCenter on mute the other day.
Yeah.
That's
right.
I had it on the background and I saw a graphic and I thought I understood what the graphic meant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought that they were in. So,
Thank you for clearing it up.
The Giants win and the Eagles beat Washington. They're in the playoffs. Anything else? They're not the Redskins, Eli. You are wrong. Are in the playoffs. Anything else not involving the Washington football team, then the Eagles are in the playoffs. Cowboys are eliminated.
That's true. They're good. They're trash. Guys, I think we're going to have a win. Also, I'm the only one who likes calling it the Washington football team. I hope they never change it. I think that's a cool name, and I like it.
You good, Eli? It's all right, bro.
I honestly don't mind it.
I like it. I like
it.
I think the Brooklyn Nets should just go by Brooklyn.
Just call themselves Brooklyn.
You're playing against Brooklyn. They don't need Nets. Brooklyn's like cool. Like
that is. Yeah, I can get behind
Brooklyn.
that. Actually. I can hear that.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
Yeah. Hey, yo, we're playing Brooklyn. You're not saying the Nets. Like I'm playing
the
Brooklyn.
Nets, dude. ABA teams were trash. Spurs, Nets, Nuggets,
Pacers.
Pacers might be the only okay one because you're like it's so weird.
Dude, they're
Get
all
the
weird.
ball across. Thank you. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I love how we're keeping it interesting. I love it so much.
It's just letting you know, keeping it all in check, guys. Oh, I thought that was a turnover.
I thought I was so happy for a second. I want to fade for K, baby. Cade Cunningham solves everything.
I mean, no.
Yeah, but it's not the NFL. Like
he would be a welcome addition.
He's a generation. He's like the best draft prospect since Luka. He's amazing. He's a point guard. We need a point guard. He solves everything.
Okay, Larry David.
Have you watched
What the hell was that?
He's so good.
You were just stuttering gibberish while your voice slowly got higher pitched.
Because I'm so incredulous that you're like, sure, we take them, but we got trash.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
Cade solves everything.
Marlon says, "In Sabine we trust."
Thank you. That's what everyone says.
That is a dicey place to be.
I'm trustworthy. I have a lot of faults, but I'm trustworthy. I'm too dumb to lie. I don't know any better.
You know what? I'll accept that because John is not one to say nice things about himself. So if he tells you he's trustworthy,
I don't lie. Yeah, I can't keep him track. I can't keep the lies up.
Can't keep the lies up.
Well,
Eli's trying to come in.
That's it, gentlemen. Got a W. Oh, what do we got here?
Eli trying to slide in.
Slide into those
like
DMs. 115, 107. We won, you guys.
This is very exciting. I cannot believe we won.
We did not go winless in the first half of the 2020-21 season.
No, winless.
I got a different hat today.
What up,
we won the game. March.
Look at Eli. Hey, Eli, show me that jersey. Show me that jersey. Yeah.
I don't know what's uglier, the jersey or that camo hat you're wearing.
No, I just wanted to change it up.
That jersey looks amazing. That jersey looks amazing, Eli. You look amazing.
I remember the Warriors game. I was so confident. Dave's like, yeah, it's not over. It's not over. Oh my God.
They got Steph. I mean,
Steph.
Yeah, but 10 point his lead is nothing when you got Steph Curry
though.
Like, even 15, like that's. I know, but no, Steph was getting it in that fourth quarter. Like Steph was carrying them in that
That's
fourth.
true.
No, Damian hit that,
John?
that game winner.
John.
He was having
For
a
sure.
bad night, and then
Listen.
all of a sudden it was like, oh no, yeah, he finished with 30
John
plus.
is a Jets fan. Because the Jets
Why is this?
win their last 2 games, and the Jets fans always keep wanting to tank. But the Jets ruined it for them. John's like, oh, tank, tank, tank. No one else wants to tank. The team doesn't want to tank. A lot of the fans want to tank, but the team doesn't.
Oh, I don't want to tank. I just think it's very funny when we keep losing.
Okay.
No one-
Did they lose?
No one wants to tank.
I
It's
don't
just
wanna
like, hey,
tank.
sometimes it's in your best interest.
Yeah.
And they've tried to get rid of it by flattening out, the lottery odds, and it seems to have worked so far, certainly.
I think it has worked. I truly think it's worked because like good teams are getting better talent.
Right.
So is it working?
And you shouldn't reward teams for being bad. It's the same thing with the Jets or the Jags. It's like one of those ridiculously incompetent franchises is just going to get Trevor Lawrence because they suck.
So I'm looking at the stats. 7, almost 8 players had double-digit points today. Everyone, like Lowry had 9.
It's
pretty good.
That's the
Right,
best.
our entire starting 5, and it would have been with Lowry if he didn't leave the game, and then
That's a good
Otto
stat.
16, Garrett Temple 12, and Sato 10 off the bench.
Yeah, Hutch had 2, Gafford had 3, and Lowry had 9. And yeah, Zach had 23. He played well again. Oh, hey, Will. What's up?
Oh, Mr. Perdue, welcome in, sir.
Oh, thrill.
We got a
How
W, man.
about that? Winner, chicken dinner.
Slide in, will he?
How do you feel, Will?
Not bad. I mean, listen, with the expectations going into tonight, I thought the Golden State game was a must-win, considering, just how poorly they had played against Atlanta and Indiana. Unfortunately, it just didn't go as planned, but they played better. And tonight, the thing that impressed me the most about tonight was they continually responded to adversity. Every time that Washington would make a little run, the Bulls responded. And a perfect example, I thought, was right at the beginning of halftime. The Wizards score 4 quick ones. Billy calls timeout, and then respond. And so I thought that was the key right there. It's just, listen, we got to do a better job of closing, but, baby steps. But
the calls, though.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, it's kind of interesting you mentioned that. I thought that the Bulls were getting the advantage, a very advantageous whistle this evening, which is surprising.
Well, it went both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't go both ways. I'm saying there were bad calls on both sides, but there were a lot of bad calls.
And this is just a little something I wrote a note on, why Temple is so important to this team. Did you notice that he baited the officials twice?
And he tried to do it 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that Robin Lopez screen.
Yep.
I saw that one.
He did it. He sold it. He got 2 out of the 3 calls by – this is just a veteran move. It's knowing how to play the game. He basically just said, you know what, if you're going to try to screen me, I'm going to make you pay for it. I'm not going to try to avoid you. I'm not going to try to go under. I'm going to try to force myself through. And he got 2 illegal screen calls because he's willing to give up his body and take the hit. He doesn't – one thing that I'm talking about that Zach needs to constantly work on, Zach turns himself to almost basically squaring up to the screen and makes himself a bigger target. Whereas Temple gets sideways, tries to, what we call the theory, he punches his fist through and then has his body follow, right? Tries to get in between the screener and the ball handler. And if he gets sandwiched, he does a really good job of selling it, but also taking the physical contact. Because a lot of times, even if it is an illegal screen, guys try to avoid the contact so they don't get the call. Temple doesn't avoid the contact. And he got the call. I mean, listen, when you see a player smiling, he knows he got away with one. And that happened, I think, with Bryant the first one and Lopez the second one. And that's why, and that's the things that these younger guys can figure out. Did you see who led the second unit? All veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Donovan closed with Temple again. like he was trying to do in the Warriors game before he fouled out.
I mean, you look, Sato 10, Temple 12, Porter 16. Now, 14 of those 16, I think, came in the first half, if I remember correctly. But again, and I hate, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just making observations. Unfortunately for Gafford, the layoff hurt him.
Yeah.
I don't see how, honestly, he's gotten any better. And that's.
He had a nice block today.
Because I feel like there's a significant percentage of this fan base, Will, who's like ready to say Gafford is better than Wendell and should start.
Those are two different. So first, those are two different things. I think he should start. That doesn't mean I think he's better than Gafford. I think he's a better fit with the lineups we have right there.
I disagree. I think Wendell's starting to find his footing now. I mean, people are so – but this is what I wrote down. Where did I put this? Let me find it so I can get the exact. Gafford gets by on effort alone, lacking technique, skill. Layoff did not help. Because, I mean, let me ask you guys. And take turns answering. Have you seen any area where he's gotten better?
In 3 games? Where he's only played 1.5 of them?
No. Or are you meaning like from the beginning of his rookie year to now, or just in these
just
3
from
games?
The end of last season, which was in March, till now? Has something jumped out at you like, ooh, he's gotten better? He's the same exact player. And that's
I mean, he's probably played like 20 minutes, though.
You can tell. Listen, I know a lot of people throw out the eye test. They want to be about analytics. They want to be about this. But just how he plays, and I will give him credit because of how hard he plays. He makes things happen. And I'm an old school guy. I'm like, why is motor a skill now? When did that become a skill? But it just is.
I think people wouldn't refer to it as a skill. It's like an intangible, oh, he's got a really high motor. So implying that they just like to play basketball at a more furious pace or level of energy than the average player.
But,
I agree with you on that. That's not a skill.
That's how people, you see all these shows where you're like, well, motor's a skill. Okay, so his skill is his motor. And his effort is what rewards. He gets rewarded for his effort, which I agree with that 100%. But he can't score with his back to the basket. He gets lost on defense, but he just doesn't give up. He gets himself back into the play. He struggles to play the screen rolls the right way. He struggles with the rotations. So this is where this is one of those guys now that Donovan's here and his staff. This is one of the guys that I hope will make now this significant increase in improvement. And that's going to take some time.
I think it's also like I don't think Gafford is some world beater. I think it's just we have two guys that can be centers because one's Felicio and the other one is Luke Cornett.
I'll disagree.
So we have two guys.
What did you see tonight that you haven't seen? Listen, Gafford.
He protects the rim. Right now, we have 2 stretch bigs and one can't shoot.
But if you ever take his man and run a screen roll, you've got him out of the play. He's done.
But if we have 2 guys on the perimeter who plays OKD and they get beat, we don't have a rim protector and we have Wendell. And Wendell turns it over 3 times a game doing nothing.
Now, mentioning hands, I mean, Bryant for Minnesota, I mean, he might have the worst hands for Washington, he might have the worst hands I've ever seen for a big man. I don't think he can catch the ball cleanly, period. But, listen, it's a tough call for Billy, but I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Okay? Because you can't play, 10, 11, 12 guys. It just doesn't work. And I don't think he's going to take turns game by game. Okay, I'm going to change the lineups again. Because then if that happened, it'd be like a neon light. Bam, bam, bam. Looking for a draft pick.
I think you're right though, Will, and I like the 9-man rotation from the last couple of games. And I think one of the reasons that we haven't seen Gafford is not anything necessarily about Wendell, but more about Lowry and using Lowry in spot minutes, playing the 5 with that lineup we saw again tonight, where you try and maybe mask some of Lowry's defensive issues with a lot of size and a lot of length, because you have Sato and Temple in the backcourt. You got Hutch and Otto out there, and then Lowry at the 5. I honestly like that lineup and want to see more of it.
I like that too, because I sat here and I said, what was a solid lineup tonight was Sato at 1, Temple at 2, as you said. At one point he had Otto at 4, and I forgot who the 3 was. It might have been Hutch, but also he had Zach in there. I think I went Sato, Zach, Temple, Hutch, and Lowry. I like that lineup, but I'm curious what you guys think about my 9-man rotation. Is obviously Kobe, Zach, P. Will, Lowry, and Wendell Carter Jr. starting. Sato at the point, Temple at the 2, Hutch at the 3, and Otto at the 4. And I have a feeling when Thad gets healthy, he'll be that next guy in that rotation, which pushes Gafford and Zell out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the other thing that we were going to talk about tonight, because we heard that Thad Young with the lower leg infection or whatever it was active or available, but we didn't see him tonight. So where do you see him fitting in as another piece of that rotation, and Donovan going 10 deep on some nights? Because I'm with you. Like, what you just laid out is exactly the rotation that I would like to see, but it does not include Thad Young, who is a potential trade candidate this season.
And listen, this is the hard thing. I know people don't like the term unwritten rule, but being a veteran, being the fact that he's hurt, Thad will get an opportunity to play. And it'll come. Somebody will have to sacrifice their minutes for him to play, because Billy wants to know what he's got. And, Matt, you make a very valid point. He's a valuable piece. So if he can get out there and play, even if he plays halfway decent over a 5 to 8 game series, then okay, this is what we have. Because here's the other thing I think what people aren't thinking about. They're so focused on the Bulls, right? Every single game, the other 29 teams are watching, wondering, is there somebody in this Bulls roster, whether there's been rumors or not of players being available, the Bostons, the Milwaukees, the Miamis, the Clippers, the Lakers, Utah, Denver, Dallas. Well, I'm talking about teams that are on the verge of being contenders.
Okay, but who do we have? They're not going to go for Thad Young.
I think. What did Matt talk about? He's his last year contract, right? Valuable piece. That's an experienced guy that can shoot the 3.
You just said Motor was bad. His skill is
right,
experience.
And that's what you need in the playoffs. You need experience.
He can't shoot the
3.
He
can shoot it enough to where he's a threat. I didn't say he's good at it, but he can shoot the 3.
But I agree with your lineup that's the right thing. What scares me is that's a small team.
And most teams are small. Listen, even our big team, Gafford.
But they can shoot.
You saw tonight. What did Lopez do? Lopez was just housing guys. I'm really surprised they didn't play him more, quite honestly. I was surprising.
Yeah, he had 6 points and 6 boards in 14 minutes.
I thought he would have played more. But it'll be interesting to see if he does play more, on Thursday. But, I think we've talked about this in the postgame show. There's only one guy that this current administration is attached to. One. That's Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams.
Yep.
I think everybody else is available if the price is right.
I agree.
Will, did you see anything different from Lowry tonight? We did just get an official update. Donovan postgame confirmed he re-aggravated that calf injury, and that's why we only saw him for 19 minutes and left after that quick stint in the third quarter. I was so disappointed to see him leave tonight because I liked how aggressive he was attacking the basket early in this game. Hopefully it's not a serious injury that lingers. Are you seeing a noticeable difference with him? Because he looked like a guy who's trying to get buckets and get to the free throw line instead of just being a shooter.
You know what the best thing I like about Lowry's line? Only 2 threes attempted all night.
Mm.
And if you just a random thought, but what's the Bulls' first shot been in all 4 games?
3-point shot.
Yeah. I'm just like, it's kind of weird. Interesting. But I wrote this down. This is what I wrote about Lowry. Continue to attack off the dribble, screen and roll, and I would even tell Lowry, no popping. You have to roll. Screen and roll. No popping. Screen and roll.
I love
no
that.
Popping.
No popping
No
allowed?
I have pop in the attic.
The poppies.
Notice I wrote down specific plays. When Lowry rolls, when Wendell rolls, the weak side guy cheats in, the big gets lost, the opponents start to rotate, and we were getting some really good looks if you move the ball to the other side. I'm talking about uncontested looks. I was counting some plays there. Whenever we went on, I wrote this down too. Whenever we went on that run, ball movement and screen roll was really efficient tonight. I think that they mentioned during the broadcast 2/3 of the assists came out of screen rolls. Because the big was rolling. Wendell was rolling. Lowry was rolling. The defense had to adjust, and they were turning the ball from one side to the other and getting open mid-range shots, open threes. Let's go back to the Golden State game. What happened? They stopped moving the ball. They started going one-on-one. The shot selection got a lot worse. I know they refer to the term hero ball. I don't even like that either. For some reason, the ball started to stick in guys' hands. And I wrote down in the fourth quarter, I just kind of went through 5 passes, 6 passes, 7 passes, screen roll into 3 passes, screen roll into 4 passes. The ball was moving. Guys were getting, and I don't care if the ball moves and a guy gets a 3, especially if he gets an uncontested 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're taking time off the clock, you're forcing the defense to move. They're having to scramble. You're using a lot more of the 24-second clock, and then you get a nice open look. And if it doesn't go in, it doesn't go in. I'm okay with that. But when you come down and you kind of hesitate, and then you just rise up and shoot a 3 early in the shot clock when you got a 12, 14 point lead, unnecessary. Because it's just we saw it in the Golden State game. I wasn't really too worried about it, but then what happened? All of a sudden, Steph got hot. Bam, bam, bam. And then I kept thinking tonight, as many bad shots as Bertans takes, I was like, if he starts hitting those shots, we're in trouble. But he never did. So, it's okay. But it's, a lot of good positive things tonight. I know it's, some haters are going to jump up and be like, oh, it was only against the Wizards. Well, you know what? That's a game you're supposed to win, and they did. Bottom line, move on.
Yeah. I guess that is a sign of progress because you probably also should have beaten Golden State, and you were right there. And I mean, that was one of the biggest frustrations all season long, John. Wasn't it just the Bulls being in so many winnable games and losing 100% of the games that were right there for the taking?
It was pretty amazing. Like a robot would have done better, I feel like. Like random chance would have better. We really found – and that's what the Golden State – it felt like we had victory and we found defeat every time. We always snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. And that's just – we just don't know how to play winning basketball yet. And that'll take time. And we also need a point guard for that. Like that usually solves a lot of issues, someone who's the general. Also, do you know that it's 144-97 this Milwaukee game?
I saw that. They just broke the record for most threes in a game tonight.
Unbelievable. They were up 52 at one point.
Pack, Will Perdue's calling you.
Who's that?
What's up? Oh, Milwaukee. They're rating. They've made like 30 threes tonight or something
crazy this year. This is wild.
Wow, man.
Speaking of good things, did you guys hear that after the game, the Bulls players presented Billy Donovan with the game ball?
No.
And then he turned around and handed it to
Benny.
Arcturus, baby.
I like that.
God. I just saying that, I feel like I took a shower. It's amazing.
Little things,
nice.
man. It's those little small things. We've gone from them not even wanting to celebrate a victory.
Yes.
Hey, it's Zach talked about we just want to be in a game where we can compete, where we.
Oh, Dave froze. Go
Zach
ahead, Will.
talked about how we just want to be in a game where we can actually compete for the win. And they've had 2 in a row now, and basically, let's just say they're 1-1 in that situation. So,
against teams that had not had wins yet.
I mean, listen, guys, come on.
It does.
I think that when they made no changes, and the only addition was Temple, I think we kind of know what this season's about. And I know a lot of people are talking about, and this is the first time I've been on with you guys in the regular season, I know a lot of people are like, well, they've watched enough film on these guys. How did they not know who these guys are, what they can do? I don't think they had any question who Zach LaVine is, who Kobe is. I don't think they have any question who those guys are or players. I think they wanted to invest the time to find out who these guys are as people. What is their demeanor? What is their purpose? What's their passion? Because what have we heard so far early on from Billy? He hasn't necessarily used these particular words, but you guys can agree or disagree. Don't handle adversity well, soft, not physical. And, we're basically hearing, listen, I see Billy Donovan giving a speech, but I hear Jim Boylen's voice. He's basically saying the same exact thing.
Yep, but Will, sometimes it's how you say it.
No.
And he didn't know how to say that.
Yeah, no, Dave, you're exactly right. This is a much better presentation. So you make it because you guys may have talked about it, but how many? I guarantee you, if Boylen was coaching that Golden State game, people would have lit his ass up about not having a timeout left to call it the game and move it to half court. You guys may have seen something. I was searching last night. I got home after doing the post-game show. I was searching. Maybe 1 or 2 mentions. That's it. It was almost like the soft sell. Unfortunately, Donovan didn't have a timeout because he lost the challenge in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I think Donovan did make mention of it.
He said he would like to have that challenge back
because there was a challenge, right? And so that was a call where maybe Donovan also had remarks after the last 2-minute report came out that said that the Bulls should have won that game because Golden State should have been flagged for a 5-second violation, got away with an illegal screen. So you can't blame the refs for everything. As far as timeout management, yeah, if it were still Jim, you're right, Will. We all would have flipped out because we had to watch that happen a dozen times last season. I'm going to give Billy Donovan the benefit of the doubt when he decides to take a challenge on a key play in the fourth quarter.
So, but that's my point. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt unless he continues, to make similar mistakes down the road. But at the end of the day, it's
right. But how many logical things are we already seeing from him as far as the way that they're using the pieces that they have, as opposed to Jim Boylen's rotations, which never made any sense to any of us?
It's about – it's the same thing as what we're trying to get. To get the players, we're trying to get them experience. Billy's got that experience. But he's also – his demeanor is much better for this group as well. Okay? Yeah. And take that forever what it's worth. I'm just saying his demeanor fits better with this group. He's calmer. His presentation is better. He's much more political when he calls guys out. He doesn't necessarily call guys out by name. He calls the whole team out. But, he's not the one, beating his fist on the desk. And, he doesn't sound like nails on his chalkboard when he's talking.
Kids don't know.
And didn't he and didn't he after the first or second game, he said, this one's on me?
So, but that
like, didn't he come out and say that? Which is Boylen didn't do that ever once, and I think that's the difference.
You're wrong there. Boylen did it a lot, but the problem was he kept talking. Listen to me, Dave. He kept talking, and as he kept talking, he kept undoing the screws he tried to put in, and then eventually, by the time he was done talking, he had blamed it on the players.
Yeah, but Will, that's like saying I built it and then you're taking it apart. That doesn't mean you built it. Like you didn't build it. When you build it, you leave it alone. Then it's built. Then it's done. You completely taking it apart.
But Boylen was like, that one's on me, and then he'd give 10 reasons why it wasn't on him. And be like,
yeah, so that he would give the argument.
Yeah.
So he never
It's when somebody gives you an apology because they know that you deserve one,
Yeah,
and then they, at the back end of the apology, explain all the ways in which they still think that they were right.
Then he
and
would
you
grab
were
the stat sheet and be like,
a move I am very familiar with.
Hey, that's your best impression ever. That was excellent. That was excellent.
It's almost like he gave the, the explanation, then he looked around and goes, so it's the player's fault, right? Yep, I'm right. See, okay, gotta go, guys.
Yeah. The gif of that Jim smiling and nodding and looking around for confirmation from the media is just, it's a dagger. Okay, Will, my question for you. We're playing the Wizards again in a couple of days. If you're Billy Donovan, what do you tell your players you want them to do better in this next game of two against the same opponent? Because, other than a little bit of slop in the fourth quarter there, which made things a little bit dicey, I mean, the Bulls shot over 40% from behind the three-point line on a moderate amount of attempts. They got to the free throw line 32 times and converted 75% of them. They kept turnovers down. They did end up with 14 total, but some of that was slop when the game was pretty much in hand. They outscored them in the paint. You had nearly all 5 starters and 3 bench guys in double figures. Where do you say, as Billy Donovan, we can do better the next time out against this same team?
I would take this film and break it down with only the good stuff. I would eliminate anything that you might, as you just talked about, because of the mindset of this team right now. I think it's still fairly fragile. So I would take out any of the bad plays, just eliminate it. Take the stuff that they did well, and I would focus on 3 areas. 1, the aggression. When you go back and look at it, the fourth quarter was kind of sloppy. As you talk about that, well, I wouldn't even show any play. There's a couple offensive plays I would show where they had great ball movement. I mean, they used almost the whole 24 seconds clock. They got a dunk. They got a 3. They got a layup. They did an outstanding job. But I would focus on 3 things. 1, the aggression. Going into the fourth quarter, the Bulls had already shot 24 free throws. Attack, attack, attack. Don't come down on the break and shoot a 3. No. Come down, look to attack. Patrick Williams, you can do that. Kobe, you can do it. Zach, you can do it. Lowry, you can do it. Attack, attack, attack. And if you don't get the bucket, let's get to the free throw line. They were the aggressors tonight. Continue to be aggressive. Okay? Second thing is shot selection. I've been talking about this since day one. I think their offense, they float in and out all night with their every game. They go through these stretches where they play really well and then they have lapses. But I think to me, it's more about shot selection than it is lapses. And I talked about this in the first 2 games. There were a couple times where Zach runs down the floor and he's like literally screaming for the ball. He doesn't get it, and he pouts for 3 or 4 plays. And then he comes down and just like, it's going up. Couple dribbles, boom. He didn't do that tonight. I didn't think he did that at all. So just aggression, get to the free throw line. I would talk about rebounding. You got out-rebounded 47-37, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And then I would talk about, and this is what I haven't seen with that I would like to see. Let's switch up our pick and roll coverage. All right? And I know guys are going to be like, uh-oh, but I would like to see them work on something. Instead of the drop, especially with Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook, how about we I don't want to use the term blitz because people are going to freak out, but how about if we look to double and take the ball out of their hands and pre-rotate? Pre-rotate, meaning the opposite big slides into the middle of the lane and is waiting because he already knows what's going to happen. So he's positioned himself properly. He's not late on the rotation. He's early on the rotation. And then if they can throw the ball from one wing all the way to the other wing, you should be able to catch up to the man and be ready by the time he catches the ball. Pre-rotate and talk, just to change it up a little bit, because the one thing that I did right is still struggling with screens. Guys stick to screens like Velcro. So if that's the case, how about if we double a little bit, pre-rotate with the opposite big, and then and that opposite big has to talk. That's where I think we lack a little bit on the defense, is the communication when guys get lost or coming out of screens. That opposite big on the weak side should be talking to Kobe, should be talking to Zach, should be talking to Sado, telling them where to go. Right wing, baseline, man cutting down the lane. That's the one thing I've talked to Darnell Mayberry about it. I've talked to Casey Johnson about it, because there's no fans. You do not hear the Bulls talking. You can hear the opponents talking, but you can't hear the Bulls talking. So that's something they need to work on.
Right. Yeah, that was noticeable when they started playing those games in the bubble, and you're like, wow, these guys talk a lot, and you don't even really think about it when the noise drowns out everything. Will, we have to get your answer on a fan question here. One of our viewers, Ben, said his grandma is a big fan of yours, loved watching you play back in the day. She also told her grandchild that you had size 25 shoes. Is that accurate?
No. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. I appreciate that, but I actually wear size 20. I mean, now I wear a 20. Back then we pushed it and said I wore a size 21.
That is so cool.
They're still
That's still a very large shoe.
Do you have a shoe? Like, you need your own shoe deal just to live. I feel like
it would never sell.
Where do you get size 20s?
You'd be surprised how many guys in the league wear that size.
Right. But I mean, guys in the league have people just throwing shoes at them. As a retired NBA player who also needs dress shoes to go with your slacks, where do you get a pair of size 20?
I pretty much guilt them into giving me shoes. I'll call an Adidas guy I know and be like, come on, man, you don't want me wearing Nike, do you? And
I
next
love
thing
that.
you know, a couple pair of shoes show up.
wow.
Dude, that's Hoodie Perdue right there.
That's Hoodie Perdue all day.
Oh,
and
then he'll get all of a sudden it's just well, I don't really I'm a little busy right now. To all of a sudden a couple pair of shoes show up. All right, cool, man. Thank you. But that's the other thing though.
So
I don't
cool.
I don't have a closet full of shoes. I wear them. And then I'll take a picture a picture and send it to my guy with a hole in it. He'll be like, "Oh, dude, you need some new ones." I'm like, "I've been trying to tell you that for 6 weeks now."
Yes.
Because listen,
you got a guy.
I'll never forget the first time I walked into a room and saw you standing up and just marveled at how big your slacks were. You're just I could safely parachute out of an airplane with a pair of your pants. Will,
possibility. You could probably make a pair of long pants.
All right, Will. Any final thought before we let you go tonight?
I would basically talk to here's the thing, that we basically play every other night or back to back until after the Boston game on January 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So my only thought is we have to somehow, because of the fact we have seen some improvement. And I know they took yesterday off because it was a travel day, and they went back to back. So this is what I'm interested in. It's just a thought. I'm curious to find out what Billy does tomorrow, what Billy does on Saturday, because we go Washington, Milwaukee back to back, right? So
we go at Wizards the Thursday, and
Saturday
then at
off,
Bucks
Sunday,
Friday. Sunday against Dallas.
Yeah, we're gonna have such a fun
they
time.
have to look to take advantage of these days. And I don't want to call them off days, but these days in between games, because now they're starting to develop a little momentum. Mm-hmm. I think Monday was the day you took off to kind of reflect and be like, okay, it's just one game, regroup mentally, be ready to play, because we're walking into a winnable game against Washington. So you got to forget about that Golden State game, as depressing as that was. All right, because you did everything you needed to do outside of turnovers to win the game. So they shored up the turnovers. They beat them. In my opinion, there should be no reason you lose on Thursday. None. Absolutely none. Because I'm not saying 6 weeks from now, but I'm talking about right now, this Washington team is just dysfunctional, period. The Bulls are the better team by far. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you lose on Thursday, to me, that's unacceptable. So that's a little bit of pressure. But I just think that Billy's got to find a way to take advantage of these days in between games. So in this case, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, and that's going to be the hard part because then remember we head out west. That's going to be a tough trip. What do we got? Portland, Sac, and who's the third one? Because Portland, Sac is back to back.
That rhyme, by the way, Will Perdue.
Portland Sac is back to back. That was awesome.
Portland.
Yeah, that's a tough trip. You got Lakers and Clippers back to back.
Is that a 4-game trip?
So,
or 5?
It's 4. So we're home against Dallas, and then on the 5th, it's at Portland. 6th at Sacramento. Day off, and then Lakers, and then day off, and then Clippers.
Trip and, hey, real quick, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but what would you got? What do you think is realistic on that trip, and what would you be happy with on that trip?
Sacramento is realistic, and
so basically,
that's about it.
That team kind of whooped our ass.
But that's the only realistic one out of the teams that they mentioned.
No, my point is like
that's the
realistic is probably Ofer.
Right? Yeah, realistic is Ofer in my opinion.
I'll be ecstatic. Yeah. You give me the Sacramento win, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah. I could work with that kind of win-loss ratio. Cade Cunningham, baby, let's do it.
Hey, they beat the Mavs last time they played them.
All right, hey, now, on a lighter note, I always like to kind of go off the basketball note. I need to talk to John for a second. I was very disappointed with the video you put out there.
Ooh,
about the day of the Bulls and Dallas game.
Hey, I almost got 2 wins out of it.
You're better than that, man. I thought for sure you should have shown yourself coming up the steps and through instead of starting on top of the steps. I was like, that's almost amateurish. He's better than that.
But I wanted it to be really quick. Also, my wife had just gotten off an overtime shift at the hospital, and I was like, hey, can you film this real quick? And she was like, what?
Did you? So, in other words, you're saying you got the death stare.
Well, I mean, she's right. Like, I'd heard about it. She's like, what? This? I was like, I think it'll be funny.
And if you said, I think it'll be funnier if I walk up the flight of stairs first and then across to the couch.
I think it would have required more planning, and I don't think we had that time, is what I'm saying. But I agree with you. But do you think the bag was funny?
I didn't really notice the bag because I was kind of disappointed in the start.
Yeah.
Saw
Did you
that.
see the AirPods? Everyone was like, you should have. Okay, good. I mean, okay. But I didn't want, because in the videos before the games, they just walk up. They don't show them, like, doing Rocky stuff. Like, they just walk straight.
That's
a straight line.
This is you. It's different.
I was trying to be that.
And those shots always start with immediately, like, they cut to a shot and they are walking. Yours, it was like, okay, here I am at point 1. You're like, place back to 1, everyone. You were at 1. And then started walking once you started shooting the video.
Now, last thing, did you share my idea with these guys? But also, did you check my voicemail? Heck.
Me?
I called you.
Who? John?
Today. I left you a voicemail.
Oh, shoot. No, I just got the voicemail from the other day when I called you back. I didn't know you left me another one.
The other 2 of you guys. Obviously, he's screening my calls. Because
he's so busy.
You guys call yourself the Outcast, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I think that's like we do on the show, when you got to kind of split the regular game to the post game show. I think you guys should start playing "Hey Ya" by Outkast.
Ooh. What do you think, Big Dave?
Nah,
I defer to Big Dave on that call.
It's too easy. It's too many Outkast songs I can think of to play in this
That
scenario.
are better than that one?
I can't. Yes. Oh God, yes.
No, I'm fine with that, but I think that would be, you guys need to have some walk-up music for the post-game show.
Ooh,
I mean,
like
we can
that.
come out with So Fresh and So Clean. There's a lot you can do with Outkast music. It's a really good idea though.
Bomb.
I like the idea, and we definitely should have a song that's like our version of like the starting lineup song and pick something. But I mean, Will, Hey Ya is the one Outkast song that all white boys are like, hey, I know that song.
I know. Will is a 50-year-old basketball
No, but here's the thing, and I'll tell you why.
I'm not going to be mad.
I'll admit it. That's what came on the radio when I was driving. Because if you'll listen to the message, it said, "Hey man, I'm out doing some honeydews, running some errands," and "Hey Ya" by Outkast came on. You guys ought to maybe use that or a song by Outkast as some walk-up music.
Yeah, go listen to Elevators, Will. Listen to that Outkast song. Elevators. Okay. Listen to that.
I mean, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with the names of songs. I'm sure I've heard it. As soon as I hear it, I'll be like, "Yeah, I know that," and then I'll do my white man overbite where everything moves but my feet.
Right. Hard to move those size 20s, ain't it, Will?
Hey, I will tell you this though. My son, obviously, I don't know where he got this from, but ever since my son has been going to school dances, he's been one of the only boys that dances the whole time, and not just with guys, but he dances with the girls. It's like, that's
nice.
Because usually that's
going to work out well for him.
Even in high school, like when they go to the dances, you walk in with a date, and the girls go left and the guys go right. And I see all the videos on TikTok and stuff, and I'm looking at my son going, why are all the girls in a group over here and all the guys? I mean, come on, man. You go to be with the girl. And then later I'll see videos.
I mean, didn't you go to junior high, Will? That's kind of how it works.
What'd you say, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, didn't you go to junior high? That's how it works.
Hold on. Will, I got this. Will Perdue was a basketball star.
Oh, not in ninth grade, man. I went to the game. But you also got to remember, I'm a little older. When I went, it was if you grabbed a girl in the dance, one of the teachers who was the chaperones ran over and went, "Space, we need space here, space."
Holy Spirit. That's what we said in ours.
Like this.
It's like basically the slow dance was the Frankenstein.
Right. Or as one of our commenters said tonight, like Wendell trying to block a shot. All right, Will. Are you coming to hang out with us Thursday, or do you got New Year's Eve
my
plans?
wife is working, so I'll be solo. So basically, what that means is that John and I will be slipping in loads of laundry between timeouts of the game.
Yep.
Is that how that works?
And then I get pissed when I don't put a dryer sheet in and it's got static cling. I'm like, damn, I got to do it again.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been there.
4-time champions.
Well,
sometimes they still struggle with laundry.
I always tell people
it's nice to know.
I was very fortunate. I grew up in a blue-collar family. I mean, my mom worked up until the day before I was born, and the day I hit 6 weeks, she went back to work. And I started working when I was 13. And I started making my own money. And, that's my parents. I got $10 a week allowance. And when I told them that wasn't enough, they said, well, there's one fix to that. Go out and go get a job. So I went and cut grass. And then I went from that to do it. I mean, so I've always done stuff, and I've always had an attitude, for the most part, that why pay somebody to do something I can do myself? And more times than not, even when I paid people to do it, I would come behind them and clean, oh, you missed a spot, you didn't do this right, you did. I'm very specific. I'm a type A personality when it comes to stuff like that.
So if hypothetically I had a lawn, could I hire you to come mow it?
Well, first of all, I would watch how you cut it, and if I was displeased with how you cut it, yes.
Oh, good. So I'll just cut it wrong, so you can do it right. Well, all right, good.
Oh, but you pay for it. There's nothing free here.
I'd pay you. And it would be well worth it to be able to tell people, yeah, Will Perdue's my lawn guy.
Well, I can do like in Grown Ups. I'll wear no shirt, really short shorts, and cut your grass. Then I'll wash your car.
And the fact that you might have these on deck is why you're awesome, Will Perdue.
Hey, when I cut your grass, I'll borrow a couple of John's gloves so my hands stick out. There you go, baby.
Oh, okay.
I'll cut your grass in biker shorts, and then afterwards I'll go for a 15-mile ride.
Please do. Oh my God.
Yeah, we got to make sure we film all of this just so we have it for posterity.
Hold on a second.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. We got
this is out of my realm. Who's Dwight Schrute? Who's that?
What is?
Oh, yeah. You literally said a Dwight Schrute quote. He's from The Office, the most popular show in the last 25 years.
Wasn't an Office.
You love it. It's good.
You would love it.
Well, and they're taking it off of Netflix on the 31st. So you got some serious.
So when you guys see me on Thursday and I keep, I've been watching Netflix for 2 days straight.
You can knock out a couple seasons tonight if you start right now.
Like it.
Make sure you tell Colin. I'm only going streaking if you guys go with me.
Oh, deal.
Dave's
I'm good with that.
No effing way.
Nope. I'll be there for moral support.
Dave will be like, hey, looks cold out there, guys. How you doing?
Right.
All right, gentlemen. Hey,
I'll be the
what
one.
time is it? Oh, see, I'm in Louisville. I'm
It's
in Eastern time.
9:30.
Oh man.
Oh.
So I did.
Thank you,
I
Will.
come down and spend
This
some
was
time with
awesome.
my son, give him his Christmas gift, and hang out with him for a little while. He actually watched the game tonight. He's become very interested as of late.
Good.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Well, it's a good time to get interested. Hopefully things are looking up. Hopefully we
what
get a
happens
winning
if
streak
you win on
Thursday.
Thursday? It's a winning
We're
streak.
going streaking.
Hey,
We're going streaking.
you got a winning streak going into
and we're going streaking.
2021. Damn.
There you go, Will. That's the positive stuff I like.
And then it'll end when Luka drops a 40-point triple-double on us.
We'll still be happy.
You'll be happy.
It'll be a fun day.
We
It'll be a
will.
fun day. It's a
You
win-win.
will.
We all will be. We'll all be. We'll all be happy. It's a fun day. It's Sunday. It's
all
fun.
you,
All right,
January.
gentlemen.
Oh. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, Will. This is the stretch for the Bulls Outcasts featuring Will Perdue.
Need that music on Thursday, all right?
All right. As soon as you watch a couple of Office episodes, I got you.
Well, I will say, I do remember one where he dropped the whole thing of chili. I remember that one.
Yeah.
All right. You got it. Okay.
All right, let me correct that. I know we keep going on, but I can't say I don't watch The Office, but I'm not sure I've watched more than like 2 or 3 episodes all the way through. Not that I didn't like it, but it was just one of those things. I was so far behind. I was like, I don't know if I really want to get into this to where I got to catch up.
Dude, season 1, episode 1. Start and watch it all the way
Hey,
through.
but I
You
will
won't
say,
be
because I don't know
disappointed.
anybody that's watching, I would highly recommend The Undoing.
I heard it's so good.
And it's only 6
heard it's
episodes,
so good.
so it's sweet. The short attention span, it's right down your
I
alley.
love that.
Right, because all the people of our generation have short
Newspa-
attention spans, right?
Newspapers.
What'd you say?
All right, gentlemen. Have a good evening. All right, guys. Later.
Thank you, Will.
Bye, guys.
Will Perdue, ladies and gentlemen. Will Perdue. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, guys. We'll get out of here, too. Thanks, to everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate the tips. Thanks to our pal Eli for hanging out with us for a while during the fourth quarter. We got a W. Let's try and make it 2. This is stretch 4. We're the Bulls Outcasts. That's John. That's Dave. I'm Matt. We'll see you on New Year's Eve, 4 p.m. tip, everybody. Don't forget, 4 p.m. tip. See you then.